Oh my goodness. Who's ready for a shootout? We're about to kick some ass and take some names, and then we're going to become famous names. Yeah. No, you won't work with my headset in. Just blew my intro. Just blew my intro! Send out the carrot pigeons!
Watch out, give me room. Meet the rifle man, Mr. Daniel Boone. I'm very white at night, there's a red stare. Or James Brown, she's a Linda Blair. I know it's right, I'm smoking John the Bone.
The days of our lives are like Ryan's Hope.
I just like more thing, I like that Luke Skywalker. Richard George Burns, hunt you like the Night Stalker. I remember only 3 or never 10 for free. I watched the Zimmer Sam and never dated to sleep. One parent, family matters, no Brady Bunch. Sounds of Ray Charles, the chocolate thunder dunk. I like the Lego Daisy Duke, never miss Red Fox. Didn't understand Gomer Pyle, never knew Don Knotts. Much love with Def Jam, Bad Boy, and Warner Brothers profile.
Put my teeth in, so I can chew the fat.
I knew that Tony was that else to flow. Let's touch the blow. Let's never know Superman or and
Geronimo.
Famous names is the game I claim. First in places and things, a million names to sing. Famous names is the game I claim. First in places and things, a million names to sing. Famous names is the game I claim. First in places and things, a million names to sing. Famous names is the game I claim. First in places and things.
Oh, get ready.
I got the temptation.
Inventory all your weapons.
Isaac Hayes and John Cousteau, Richie, Fonzie, Joni and Chachi, Cab Calloway, Liberace. I'm talking about Johnny Taylor, fame of Lucille Ball, the Stephen King Supreme, mixed with Billy Ball, Johnny Ungome, yo soy el rey, mi nombre es David,
Mi amigo Jose.
I got love with Stevie Wonder and I like the Bruce, Jet Magazine, BT, Bob and L, Bundy. I rock and roll my rhymes to a weird head like Dennis Weaver, got more problems than Glenn, so I leave it to Beaver, Pearl, Bailey, and Baby, can't forget Earl Flynn, who's the man we win.
I know the game of gin.
Aretha Franklin is the queen, it ain't Sister Mary, Blue still is the king. I got a cousin in there, I got a house like Eddie Murphy and a Johnny Professor. Drive a car like a Mac go on my dresser. Living single like a deal. Sweet as extra mama, play the guitar like a Denver with no dance in Madonna. Suits like Marlon Brando, always rocking them jeans, Florida's West, Craven, about to run DMC. From California to Atlanta, New York and DC. Florida, New Orleans, Michigan and Kentucky. I remember Flip Wilson, Jerry Lewis, Dean Martin, Mickey Rooney, Betty Davis, BTA, Dolly Parton, Malcolm X, JFK. Famous names are Bean, Rosa Parks, Mega Evans, and Martin Luther King. Famous names is the game I claim. Person, places, and things, a million names to sing. Famous names is the game I claim. Person, places, and things, a million names to sing. I'm bust a rhyme on time, it's real deep, I dig. Like Tupac Shakur and the Notorious Big. You can call me Dizil, or you can call me Blue Seal. Rockefeller King Kong, the Power Ranger with steel. Shirley Hood is my mother, Norma Jean is my sister. T-Mac and Dollar Bill, Stevie and Bobby is brother. I like that Tony the Tiger, 12 blues is nuts. Billions of dollars, an educated scholar. Chillin' with Dan, baby straight on Black Street. With the whole squad, and my label too sweet. Famous name, this persons and places and things. Like the MGM, and John King, Disneyland, Ronald Reagan, Farrakhan, Sammy Davis, James B. Clark Gable, Mary Poppins, Miles, Label, Charles Bronson, Mr. T, Burger King, Applebee, Terminator, Janet Jackson, Donna Summer, Cleo Paxton. Famous names is the game I claim. Person, places, and things, a million names to sing. Famous names is the game I claim. Person, places, and things, a million names to sing. Famous names is the game I claim. Person, places, and things, a million names to sing. Famous names is the game I claim. Person, places, and things, a million names to sing. Famous names is the game I claim. Person, places, and things, a million names to sing. Famous names is the game I claim. Person, places, and things, a million names to sing. Famous names is the game I claim. Person, places, and things, a million names to sing. Famous names is the game I claim. Person, places, and things, a million names to sing. Famous names, yeah. Who's still in the house, you know what I'm saying, for the 9-8, moving up into the millennium. You know what I'm saying? I'm sending shots out to Dialamo Prospect Studio. Dan, you know what I'm saying? My boy in the house. Sending shots out to Karen, you know what I'm saying? Sending shots out to the Prospect 6. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's involved in this operation.
Yeah, man. Let's check up.
Dialamo Studio.
That is from my album, Clova. It's a 2-track feature. What you just witnessed right there is material evidence supporting part of the foundation of my discoveries, my investigation that I've been doing for, it'll be officially 2 years full in October, I think, when I don't remember when I opened a Nielsen ladder, but it all goes back to the original, the Pied Piper hashtag, when I opened the letter from Nielsen's. And that right there is evidence of the TV programming that was those guys celebrating what they grew up on. These guys walked in off the street one day and knocked on Danny's door before I got involved with Danny. And they asked him, they said, hey, are you the guy with the studio? Because Danny was all over the town with his guitar. See, Danny had alcohol and drug problem. And he would go around and he would sit out front of the liquor store and play music with his guitar and his cat Miko. He had a Siamese cat. And people would give money. And then when Danny had enough money to drink, he would go and he would get a bottle. Well, everybody became to know him. He played at all the bars and everything. He was a very accomplished musician. Very close friend of Rick Belkoffer in Grand Haven. From his original band was R.B. and Company. And that's how me and Danny and R.B. made the Bandana Brothers album when we got together and collaborated live, improv a show and just played. And it changed my life. Meeting Danny changed my life. Everything. Now, reflecting back on all the stuff I learned, I was always in school being taught things by the angels. Being taught things by the angels. And they've been giving me the information. Yeah, they're the ones that gave me the information about the pigeons. Yeah, so we're going to get into all that. So, anyway, I'm going to tell a little story. My mom had a boyfriend, and his name was Tom Schunborn. Very nice man. Tom was a farmer, a pig farmer. That was all he knew, was farming, pig farming, and the necessary things to feed the pigs, growing the corn and all that. Well, when he was a little boy, his dad had him busy working on the pig farm. He was part of the family business, a slave. Yeah, part of the family. And Tom was never taught everything about the business as a boy. He didn't even know how the pigs bred. Okay, his dad kept that information from him. So he only learned enough that was in his intended capacity to have to operate with. Limited information to serve a purpose in a limited capacity of authority. All my words are provided to me at the time that I speak. This is not from any notes. I don't speak from notes. I have no notes. Please pay attention to when I do refer to notes so that you can properly assess my fluid comprehension and my accelerated development through my sobriety journey that you've witnessed before your eyes. So anyway, Tom was in school. Well, the demands of the farm were more important because money is your dictator. Yeah, the dictatorship. Yeah. And everything is based on the money. Yeah, which stems from your time and correlates with developing that wealth through the efficiency of running your household, your personal business, you're the garden of life. Oh, I'm very excited. This is going to be magic. So they pulled him out of school when he was in the 3rd grade. And he didn't go to school. They didn't send him to school. They kept him on the pig farm. Well, I think Tom is passed away now. Oh, God bless him. He was a great guy. Alcoholic. As many, many, many more people are alcoholics than you realize. It's a widespread thing. It was a tool, You sit down and play poker with somebody, you want to get in their pocket, you got to have some drinks to make it easier. Yeah, and that's the whole thing, making it easier to manipulate people over a period of time, which ties in with gardening. Yeah. So Yeah, sad story about Tom. And then if you go to YouTube, you'll see the Life of a Farm Girl that I read. It's like a 15-minute, 16-minute story. Very heartfelt story. I had a hard time not breaking down in tears reading it throughout the whole thing. It was pretty obvious that I was choking up throughout the delivery of the video. So anyway, this is all. What I'm giving you is the raw diamond. And then throughout the process, I'm going to be chipping away at the diamond. See, I'm the diamond cutter, and I'm showing you how to cut that diamond. So it's going to be convoluted, yeah, and all over the place, or whatever kind of things people want to, use to dismiss me and my teaching skills. So keep that in mind. So, when you work for a company, the company hires you in. I'm starting with some basic things you're going to be able to understand so that we can tie back into it. You work for a company. Say you're the janitor, okay? My good friend Charles Pfizer, my brother, he's out there. Maybe he'll. I sent him a message this morning, but anyway, I worked with him, and he's doing janitorial type of stuff a lot most of his life. Had his own business, so. When you're working for a company and I hire you in as the janitor, I do two things. I'm constantly assessing you to see what your limitations are so that I can kind of try and cheat you by assigning you to fill in on other positions and other tasks and in essence make you an all-around guy without paying you the all-around guy's wage. The foreman who knows how all the machines operate. So you're supposed to be foreman making 60 a year, but you're only making 20 a year because he's got you assigned as a janitor. Okay, so you're limited at your understanding and comprehending what's going on in that company because your limitations, your perspective, only extends out to so far of a perimeter within the cleaning tasks. So you become proficient in how to clean the rooms, how to sweep the dirt into small piles without putting the dirt into the air, causing health hazards and machinery hazards, technical hazards by putting that dust in the air to ruin the equipment and your health. So you become very aware of how to operate the material handling of your chemical products and the things you use, and the tools, the mops and the brooms, and you become proficient and professional. Yeah, he's just a janitor. Well, a janitor is a science, okay? Yeah, I'm a mad scientist in my lab. I'm the janitor. Yeah, and I know what the mad scientist expects. And so I give him that product, that finished product, through my efforts and my competency, my knowledge, my understanding, and my care. Four-letter word. Somebody get a message out to Tom McDonald. Got his hangover gang, anything for family shirt hanging there on purpose. Everything you see before you is a whole world of symbolism, speaking in languages, many languages. So anyway, you become very proficient. You become professional in your service as a manager, or the janitor. Well, that's all you know, though. So you're angry when other people who aren't the janitor take it upon themselves to when they're responsible for cleaning up their work area and they take the trash out that they accumulated. Because you're not their slave to clean up after them. Cleanup's part of your job in any position. You don't blow that off onto the painter to do when he comes through to clean the house real good to paint. Oh, well, the painter's got to clean up anyway. Bullshit. You clean up after yourself. It's part of your job. Yes. So you're limited and you're angry about those people who don't know how to put stuff in the dumpster properly to take up less space. The engineering skills. Okay, so you're a great janitor, but you're not the manager. So you don't know about the material needs of the machines that are running and how much material you need to process to produce so many products, which all ties in with gardening. Yeah, you have no clue about the accounting, but you do when you're the boss. Yeah, when you're the scientist in the room, the mad scientist who cleans up after himself, you become proficient at all that stuff. The accounting, the record keeping, the history, the speculated productivity. the future possibilities. Yeah. So you have all those options and details to work with. Let me stop, make sure my phone's working. Oh, I forgot to do one thing. My big screw up today. Hey, now, don't be shutting off. Yeah, so I'm going to recap a little bit so that this gets on my dragon. So, because I might get interrupted with my Wi-Fi and all that. So you're the janitor. He hires the janitor. He manipulates you to become oriented to do all the other jobs and in essence creates a foreman within your janitorship that you're unaware of. You become proficient. You've developed techniques for material handling and engineering skills it takes to load the dumpster. And your frustration always with people who can't load the dumpster properly because it costs so much money to move that dumpster. You want to get everything in there. And you don't want to put recyclable stuff in there. So you accumulate that in designated areas. Well, other people don't do this. You're constantly digging stuff out of the trash. Yeah. So your job it increases in stress because people aren't fulfilling their obligations around you. Yeah, you lose your voice because you want to say something, but you don't know how to present the argument because you're not the original scientist in the room who was all those positions: the accountant, the historian, the janitor, the supplier, the stocker, the inventory guy, all those positions. That's what you are. So the problem we got is, let's say, boom, you get a piece of property. You never had property before. Well, as you cultivate your knowledge through working the land, you develop how to live on it best, where the best place is to get the water, and a great place to establish the garden. Yeah, so you become proficient in how much that garden produces by how you tend it. You learn how to propagate the garden to get a better yield. You learn the limitations. You learn the harvest expectations during pestilence situations and high yield situations. And you learn all those aspects, those parameters. Well, over the years, we've been slowly stolen away from that knowledge to the point where now most of society is completely helpless and ignorant of anything, basic stuff. Yeah, and it all ties in with the TV. Yeah. So I started off with the Nielsen's investigation and found out that they're a private organization of psychiatrists that develop manipulative techniques to force the consumers to buy the products through their stimulation, through their motivation, through their persuasion. Okay. The problem was the corporations at the time during Nielsen's and the slavery, after the slaves were emancipated. Okay. Oh my goodness, this is going to be great. So, I don't like my dragon. I hope this thing is working out. So anyway, they were mad because the country boys, yeah, all those John Waynes and all those Daniel Boones, they weren't buying their products. The Latino people, they weren't buying the products. They weren't responding to the advertising practices. The black communities that they were targeting, they weren't responding to their advertising techniques. And so that's where their anger developed, and a lot of the name calling, niggers and spicks and whups and wetbacks and all those nasty names. Yeah, all those nasty names. That's where it come from because of their anger of the lack of success with the ability to take their money from them somehow. You see, and right now, those very people, are going to be given money with the reparations if it goes through. And the whole idea is, it's just like the casino, where you take they give you a little money, and then you get excited because you want a little bit. So you put it back in because you think you can understand a pattern happening. You know, so you keep putting money in, hoping to at least get your money back, which never happens. You end up, rarely happens. And then you end up going home doing the loser's walk of shame to the car and sick to your stomach for the next 5 days because you lost $150. You know. So they developed techniques, radio campaigns, advertising on the radio. They advertised for songwriters to write little jingles to sell their products and stuff. It wasn't an innocent, fun little thing. It was intended to design to stimulate you to get your wallet open. Yeah, and of course, all during the time, the trash is accumulating. So in essence, what we have today is everybody was focusing on the money, focusing on the money, focusing on the money. Well, it's just like the construction business. So you focused on the money without stopping to do the tool repair and clean your truck. And now 3 months into it, the tools are all scattered. You can't find any drill bits. And the truck's full of trash. And you can't eat anything that you drop on the floor. You see? So right now, there's such a big mess because everybody's been focused on taking the money, passing the garbage off to somebody else who will do the job. Yeah, we'll get somebody desperate enough. We'll manipulate somebody desperate enough. We'll get somebody used to playing poker and then, give them a little money once in a while. Yeah, so they use the drugs and the alcohol as a tool to manipulate people into a more desperate situation. So where they'd be more eager to put in that labor to get that money for that beer. Yeah, and because, in the meantime, Grandma and Grandpa are dying in the old folks' home because they give you that benefit package. Yeah, well, you didn't get the recipe for beer, so now you don't know how to make beer and you're dependent on buying it, for instance. So as soon as Nielsen got good at what they do with their companies, they saw, we'll spread out, and we'll target and we'll take those people's money too. And they spread out to all the other countries like a virus immediately, except for China. So in the meantime, the corporate organizations, they're trying to beat down the population, regardless of what color or whatever they are. They're trying to beat down the target class market, for instance. At the time, it was all about classism, and that was another argument that was born out of this. So they spread to the other countries to sell their intel to help other corporations in other countries and establish their gang members affiliated with their corporations to get their corporations established there. And everybody's letting it happen. So, in the development of all the electronic low-frequency weapons and things like that, and the audio, video stimulation techniques, the radio frequencies, it all stems from the advertising practices orchestrated through Nielsen's. The War of the World, Orson Welles was part of it. The sinking of the Titanic, they were bullying the guy around over the Marconi radio system. It was part of it. It was relative. I don't know if they meant to sink the ship, but they were bullying him because he didn't conform to the new radio, to the new dictator, the new radio system. Yeah. And nobody asked any questions. So they develop new techniques, they develop more techniques, they develop more techniques. Well, that's their cultivation techniques in their garden of life. Because when you're gardening, you plant the seeds, all you got to do is worry about watering bugs. Now your job's easy. See, when I jump into a job, I pick the hardest job possible and get that done. Because that's the work. Yeah, that's the work right there. You get the hardest job done first, then you do the easy stuff. Yeah. So yeah, this ain't working out. This dragon thing's not working out. I never use it, so I'm not a tech guy. I don't invest a bunch of time educating myself on how to use the garbage they keep giving me to conform to the use of. No, I don't. I use it just enough is plenty. It's kind of like the pot thing. A couple puffs is all you need. And it's not for everybody. It's a scandal. Yeah, the pot thing was just a way to sell products that they had incorporated with the speculation of marijuana becoming legal, taking advantage of those sales transactions. And now everybody's smoking dope. Yeah, and the Army can't even find anybody to join because they're all potheads. Yeah, pot's not for everybody. It's part of the manipulation. It's all done through the TV. Alexandra, it's great to see you. Hats off to you. Much love. Great to see you. It's nice to hear from you all the time and be connected to Italy. It's a beautiful image in my mind when I close my eyes. Yeah. So, at the same time, it ties in with the passenger pigeon, the extinction of the passenger pigeon. Okay, they made a gold rush out of the passenger pigeons because it was easy to capitalize on, and the passenger pigeons became defenseless to the chemical poisonings that they did to kill masses of them at a time, and the lumber industry stripping all the trees down and creating the farmland and all that, and it took away their home. So, there was nobody, using any ethics about the proper give and take. Yeah, when you go mushroom hunting, you don't pick all the mushrooms. You leave a few behind so that they can release their spores and make new ones. You don't take all of them. So, which ties in with the whole thing. When you make the game, okay, Monopoly, for instance, when you make the game and you make the rules, you know where the rules can be broken and how to break them. Yeah, and when you make the game and you establish the rules, it's like telling a lie. You're creating a web of lies, and you have to keep your lies straight. Yeah, so that's where the corporate attorney gets involved, when it gets too complex. Yeah, and they're the ones that write the bills so that I can get away with, the excess mercury runoff from my jewelry operation. Yeah, and I'll worry about, let somebody else's family 100 years from now deal with that poisoning and contamination. Oh yeah, we're onto something huge here. I need some people with brains because I'm not that smart. Yeah, I'm not that smart, but I'm smarter than everybody else around me because I'm the guy they all come to for the answers. So I must be a certain amount of smarts to me. So anyway, I need some help doing this, yeah. So my understanding, my belief is that, and here's the other detail. The corporations that hired Nielsen's to manipulate the people through the radio and the TV, well, they're the ones that stepped in and basically took over the broadcasting. They own the stage. They're the sponsors. Yeah, they're the ones that say whether you get on stage or not. My dad was a professional golfer, and in order to golf in the circuit, he had to get some financial backing. So he went to Ping, a big golf corporation, and got them to sponsor him. Yeah, well, the sponsorship, it's like selling your soul to the devil. Yeah, it is. Any musician out there that's ever signed a contract with, working for the MRC, that song. Yeah. Well, the MRC, see, when everybody got upset about the nasty songs coming over the radio, they started rating the tapes and putting ratings on there. The MRC, they represented the MRC like, Mad Mothers, like Mothers Against Drunk Driving and that back in the 80s when the Mothers Against Drunk Driving came out. So what they did was, in essence, is there's a fox in the hen house. We put a fox in the hen house, and we didn't even realize it because we're in the house watching TV, and the fox is out in the hen house having his way with the chickens. Yeah, so the Media Ratings Council is all those household names that bought great grandma and grandpa's recipes, the reason why you don't know how to cook and you're buying the soup at the store. Forgive my colloquialism. If you can't understand it, I feel sorry for you. I think I'm being very illustrative. And anybody who says I'm full of shit is clearly relative and knows that they're on my list. Yeah, the slave master. Yeah, so they established the company brought the slaves to do the work in the garden he didn't want to do, the hard part, the digging, the planting, the picking. Yeah, he had his kids, nepotism. He had his kids do the easy part. Water the garden, like in Happy Gilmore. You don't have to do anything. It's got automatic sprinklers. Yeah, or whatever movie that was. So, the nepotism. Yeah, so you give all the hard parts. Well, they got sick of giving those people that they were paying to do the hard parts, a lot of them. They were getting sick of them. So they started looking for cheaper labor. And that's how China got involved, the cheaper labor. Financial deprivation to the masses, a punishment for not jumping on board and buying the products in the first time, Yeah, they were mad. Just like the property owners in the situations today where they hire a hack who's for $10 an hour to come in and do something because they didn't want to pay a real tradesman like me a piddly $25 an hour to throw the floor down because it sounded like, I was going to spend a week doing it. Yeah, when it only takes a day to do a big vinyl floor or whatever, wooden floor. I do floors by myself, knock them out in a day, make all that money. Yeah. Oh man, I wish I had somebody smart to sit and reciprocate with. It's hard to stay on track when you have so many files on your desk opened. So anyway, yeah, all these pieces make sense. So we have to go back. We open, back to the MRC thing. That's where I was on the MRC. Hi guys, my pigeons are out, Max and Mildred. And so anyway, the fox in the hen house. So in the meantime, we think the MRC, as parents, is on our side and beating down that underground crap with all the garbage in it about smoking dope and robbing people and peeing in white girls' drinks and passing them off like that one guy mentioned in his song. His name's not even worth repeating. All this garbage. So we thought the MRC was on our side. Well, the MRC is not on our side. He's a dope man telling you you're going to see little green spiders and rainbows when you smoke his shit. Yeah, the snake oil salesman. Yeah, and he's bought the payola. Yeah. Those white guys everybody's looking for. Yeah, I found them. Yeah, I got some names, but thing is you can't beat down so much the guys we found right now. We have to go back to the root, the foundation. The people who own the slaves, the companies, the products they produced, the banks they were affiliated with, the property they owned. This goes back to, to the tobacco, first of all. This goes all the way back to tobacco. Yeah, somebody's got to have to do some homework, and I can't do it all. Yeah, I can't do it all. Or can I? Yeah. Can I? I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. It all goes back to your journal. Personal development. Yes, taking control of yourself. If you want to free yourself from the slave master, you got to learn how to read and write. Well, he don't want you to learn how to read and write because he just wants you to dig holes. This is the key to the kingdom. Yeah, it may be too late to start journaling. Yeah, it may be too late. So, you get up in the morning, you take your personal inventory, you write your details down, what you're doing with yourself, your day, what you want to get done, what you have to get done, what you'd like to get done. You learn where your money's going. First of all, who are you getting your money from? Okay? Who are you getting your money from? What products do they make? Where do they get their supplies from? Who are their buddies? Did I just join the mob? Am I a mule? Am I in a drug? Am I part of the cartel? You don't know that. See, this is very critical stuff. We're in serious trouble. You have to learn who's giving your money, the details. Don't just be thankful to be the janitor and get that check at the end of the day. Yeah, you got to become aware. You're a spy. When you go to work for a company, you learn every aspect about that company. First thing, who owns it? Back to that Nielsen's ratings. Nielsen's ratings, Nielsen's Media Group, is owned by the Dutch. Yeah, maybe the very Dutch from the tobacco trade establishment. The Dutch masters. Yeah, just smoke them. Yeah, I'm on to something huge, huge. I contacted Defenders of Wildlife yesterday. I contacted Department of Education, contacted a few big people. We're going to see who comes to me first. And they're suspect right off the bat. Yeah, because they might be trying to figure out how to tantalize me to win me over and make it feel like I just want some money in the slot machine. Yeah, and then they secure me to strip me of all my intel, find out who all my people are, steal all my stuff, and sweep me back under the rug, and then everything can continue on and people continue getting beat down. Yeah, we're in a lot of trouble. I'm the only one thinking. And my problem is I don't know who to trust. Who's the state? It's like a fight in the street. Who do you defend? Yeah. So I'm in a tricky situation. It's very exciting. It is. And there's no drug in the world. No drug in the world like the feeling of confidence based on your integrity and your honor, and above all, knowing you're pleasing the Lord. Yeah, doing the right thing. Yeah. The message. They said I started talking about carrier pigeons in the show, and I finally looked them up after I made the verbal devotion that I was going to get my biblical and theological degree, which I don't need to do. Just simply making the commitment in my heart was good enough. Yeah. So I researched the pigeons, and when I was laying in bed and the realization became an awareness, a conscious awareness in my mind, I received confirmation, clear confirmation from the Spirit that was what they wanted me to know. I'm getting the tingles right now saying that. So the passenger pigeon debate opened up another can of worms in addition to Nielsen's. Yeah. This show's basically a rough draft of, all my work's rough draft. I never practiced, but this I'm just kind of winging it and going through my where I'm at with a few things, and then I review it and see, if I have a better way to rearrange things. I'm constantly working on refinements. Like when Edison invented the light bulb, he tried over 1,000 times, and every time I do a show, it's me trying to continue developing and continue walking down the path. And as I see that I'm onto something good, I continue developing it. It's cause and effect and failure and successes, and you plant your seeds. They don't all grow. Yeah, all your eggs don't hatch. All your chickens don't live. I'm dealing with the mortality rate through the process. So this is a big, big investigation. Yeah, I've learned a lot. Yeah. And I don't know what to do but keep studying. Yeah. So now, here's the deal. 1984. If you do numerology reading on the book 1984 means AIHD. Okay? Almost everything in the book came true because he was a gardener in the garden that they were working with. Yeah, he was just as smart as the guy he was working for, who was the gardener telling him what to do. It's like a builder going to work for another builder, but that builder's in charge because it's his contract. So it's the same thing. So George Orwell wrote that book. Yeah, out of desperation. He gambled. Yeah, he took a gamble. Make himself look like an idiot or like a fool. Yeah, you can't be afraid of failure. Yeah. can't be afraid of failure. And clearly, you can see I'm not. Because I run my mouth about anything I think I know about. So, 40 minutes into it. Anyway, I've got a lot going on. Julie's home from the hospital now. She's recovering. I just made her some chicken noodle soup. And I got all my birds taken care of. The babies are doing good. You guys want to see the babies? Let's go see the babies. And then maybe we'll come back up and see if we can't create a magic song. There's Max and Mildred. And we got the babies. Here's the babies. We got two. The one's a little smaller. I'm guessing that one is male, and the bigger one's male, and the smaller one's female. And I'm also guessing that one is getting fed a lot more than the other. So I'm gonna have to step in and figure out what to feed them. So there's the babies. They don't have bands on their feet yet, and I haven't given them names because they're not past their mortality rate possibilities. Yeah, they're not past the mortality rate possibilities. So, yeah, I've got my own angels. Yeah, the pigeons. Hi, guys. Hi, guys, I love you. Yeah, I love you. Let's see. All right. Let's see if we can play a magic song on Rhonda. Yeah. In order to get... See, here's the deal. Right now they're haggling. They're haggling. They're dickering back and forth. Yeah. And right now everybody's being offered a little bit of money. And they're desperate. And they're thinking, ooh. Yeah. They don't realize... It's like when you go for a lawsuit and you're thinking, oh, I'll just sell it for 30 grand, but the judge awards you like $2.5 million because that's what's right, what's fair. Yeah, the judge. Yeah, if he's not part of the guys against you. Yeah, it's what's going on. So I found the keys to the chest for me to dish out the reparations. Yeah, believe it or not. Yeah, to be instrumental in that. Yeah, resuscitating the wildlife issue and nature, correcting the garbage problem, finding out who sold the landfills to Canada from Michigan. Yeah, and it's funny because Canada just gave Michigan some money for clean water protection or something. Again, haggling. It's future speculation. World's third largest water supply. We're piling a bunch of garbage in the center of it. Whose idea was that? Yeah, whose idea was that? And Trump. Finding out whether Trump is good or bad? Well, Trump's from old money. This is all about old money. Okay? Kennedy. They killed Kennedy because of this, I believe. Yeah, 64, 66, they did the first NFL, the Super Bowl. That was all part of the mind control to get us off front of the TV. Yeah, TV destroyed us. I found the keys. I want to take over the media, take over the internet, take over the Media Readies Council, and then now everybody's getting reprimanded. They're going to be stripped of their wealth, and then they're going to be the ones assigned to do all that dirty work, the hard jobs that they avoided doing all those years, forcing them onto the poverty-stricken people. Oh, I'm the one holding the whip. I'm the one holding the whip. I am the cracker. Yes. I may be nothing but a scurvy little spider, but all the world is my weapon. And all those around me are flies. Some I dine upon, some I despise, some I roll up and secret away for a nice little surprise. Yes. See if we can play a magic song. I don't know, I just make it up. Yeah. I was instructed to force myself to keep playing that scale pattern. A lot of magic coming out of that scale pattern. Because that's where the resonance and the frequencies are, with the positive energy and the positive message that the Spirit wants you to have. Clearly, you can see it in me. Yeah. Unless you're obstinate, was the word of the day. The other day. And we did touch on tangible, pride, selflessness, and respect. Yeah. Sometimes in the bottom of a bottle of the ink that they use in the prisons for that lovely ink work they do when they get their prison number tattooed on them with the lovely brickwork and the smoldering World Trade Center tower with the plane sticking out of it, that ink. In the bottom of that bottle of ink is a little bit of respect. Yeah. And obviously, there's a lot of men searching for it because there's so many people that do have their prison number tattooed on them. So I'm a firm believer to use that ink in your turkey quill pen, in your legal pad, to get that respect. Yes, firm believer. Yeah. Pick up some of these breadcrumbs. Look into anything. Yeah, just look into Nielsen's. Go find out who owns it. Yeah, who owns Nielsen's? Gotta follow the paper trail. See, everybody's watching the border. Be thankful that all those Latinos are coming, because we're gonna need them for the agricultural issues. Yeah, cheap labor, yeah, fighting the bugs and the weeds and how to do stuff. They know all that because they haven't been down there saturated. Their family hasn't been saturated and poisoned with the broadcast communications that's been taken over. You see, if you're going to win the war, you got to knock out the munitions, you got to knock out the broadcasting, and you got to knock out, the guys in charge if you can find them. Yeah, so if you could take over the broadcasting, you can control the people you're fighting. See, I'm coming. I'm going to take over the broadcasting. Yeah, I'm going to be in charge of the FCC. Yeah, you watch. Yeah, or I'm going to put somebody in charge. I'm going to have something to do with it. Yeah, I'm creating the controversy by doing what I'm doing. That's how you get famous. I went to college. I want to thank Lady Gaga for being a model. I want to thank Tom McDonald and his wonderful father for being an inspiration. I want to thank Chuck Cooley for being a huge inspiration. I want to thank Bobby Baraka. And, there's so many people. But out of all of them, the most special one that magically ties in to the whole picture, one of the facets on the diamond I've been chipping, showing you how to chip the diamond. Yeah. And you A.D. Justice. That's right. Because we're going to get justice in the A.D. My hair is rising hardcore right now. Yeah. I knew the minute I saw that name that I had to be careful. Yes, I did. I knew that I had to be careful. That the angels were watching me. Yeah. And here I am. The proof. Yeah, the riddle. Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm excited to have all you guys a part of it. And Tim Homerhausen, I want to send a big shout out to Tim Homerhausen, Lauren Shea. They're a couple. I did a little matchmaker thing and put them together. And they're happiest people in the world. I want to thank Alexandra Kaminska for being a huge supporter. Yeah. And all my haters. Yeah. Yeah, all my haters. And critics. Yeah, love critics. Yeah, see, what you critics don't realize is you're nothing more than a surrogate mother. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, my mom criticized me, beat me down with her criticism all my life. I had to get away from her because she was making me drink more with her criticism. Yeah, and now I've been at the point in my life for the last 2 years where I'm looking, searching, begging for criticism about any of my work, my writing, my photography, anything I got to say, my poems, all that. Begging for criticism. Yeah, I'm begging for this shit. And here she's got it in spades. Yeah, but I don't want her shit. It makes me itch. Yeah, makes me thirsty. Anyway, if you want to stay sober, if you want to help anybody stay sober, turn them on to my Great Extreme American Makeover series, where I offer my specially abstract, artistly designed Asshole 101 course. Yeah, that Asshole 101 class I invented when I started the show. Everything that I've got, all the music that makes up the things I have to share, it's all part of all the tools that the spirits were assembling for me to become an army of one. Yeah, and right now is a great opportunity for me to step in and take over as the recruiting representative for the United States Army. Yeah. Yeah, hats off to my grandfather who was in the Army. Yeah, and many other of my family members. Anyway, I'm crazy old Mad Zack. Yeah, crazy like a fox. Mad scientist, mad. I'm just crazy enough to be the difference. Yes, I am. Just crazy enough to be the difference. Paul, I suggest you rewind the show. Get your notepad out with a bottle of that prison tattoo ink and your turkey quill pen and write a few notes down. Yeah, because I just laid out the smorgasbord for you. And you're starving, but you're too stupid to know what to eat first. Yeah, or which fork to use, or whatever. I don't know. But here I am, still supporting you by continuing to offer what I have and accept your criticism. Yeah, power of the people. Fist raised high. That's right. Peace out. I got to go take care of my wife in the garden of life.